I feel like every time, you son of a, every time I start this, man, I'm always messing with the equipment, and I damn near feel like it's in fine working condition, and then when I go to put my hands on it, all of a sudden it don't be acting right. Maybe I should stop touching it. It's the Shields, Neil. Listen, I had a little bit of free time, so I figured I will do a little quick show because, listen, I like to laugh a lot, and I laugh at myself a lot because sometimes I'd be like, damn, why aren't my shows cracking more? And there's many reasons why. And it's not like this stuff is trash, because it's not trash at all. But it's not seen the way it should be because I do this much promotion for this. I got to get better at actually like sharing the show, letting people know about it. I don't do any type of promos anymore. I used to get on my Snap and be like, yo, got a show tonight. Make sure you check it out. Don't do that anymore. I don't really even post the old shows online like I used to do. Some of it is because I don't use my Facebook. That's primarily where they were going. But I realized today that I got to do a better job of actually advocating for myself. I tell people that on a daily basis. Always advocate for yourself. Make sure if you would like to be seen or you want people to hear your perspectives on things, advocate for yourself. And then I go in the corner, I do my show, I post it, and then I walk away. And I barely even go back to like check to see if people enjoyed it, if there's any comments. I got to do a better job. So we want the show to be successful. We got to do a little bit more. I don't know why I led with that, but it just was making me laugh because I'm looking at these things and somebody's in my direct message and they're asking me like, yo, I seen that you have a show. And I'm like, yeah, I got a couple. How are your shows? What are they like? You have a lot of viewers. A lot of viewers? Nah. Nah, not yet. But I really started thinking like that's mainly because shout out to I don't be promoting. I don't know what it is, man. I just put it up and I go do other stuff. Like I said, I'm one of these weirdos who's like really eager to be somebody who could be like on daytime television, having like a show. I low-key want to take over from Maury when Maury leave. Nothing would bring me more joy than to be the person that goes, Clarence, you are the father. You know how much I would love that? Clarence thought he was gangster. He didn't think the kid was his. The child looks exactly like him. Then I get to watch Clarence run to the back, jump on the couch, start flailing, crying, doing all that. And then Clarence's newfound baby mother goes to console him because now they're a family. But only until the show ends. And then Clarence goes back to the block. Anyway, I really believe that I could be somebody that hosts a show like that. Did the radio thing. I could be on radio. And I'm willing to go learn. I'm willing, even at my advanced age, because I'm old, I'm willing to go intern. Because I want to soak up the experience. I'm willing to do that. But I'm terrible at promotion. Marketing, promotion, none of that is my steez whatsoever. And that's clear. Because these things still not all that big. So yeah, I just burped. At this point, I'm being my truest self. Snorting, farting, doing all that. Anyway, this is the Minkle Jackson Show, Season 3, Lunchtime TV. What was this episode called? I typed it in and literally do not even remember. What did I put on there? GOAT season. Okay. So tonight, it's likely to happen tonight. Barring some crazy ass miracle on behalf of the Miami Heat, it is likely that tonight the Lakers will once again be champions. They will win the championship. I feel weird about it. There's a part of me that feels like this. I'm not going to say it's not earned because you have to still play the games. When I say that this feels like it was bought, I know people could be like, well, you could look at that and say that about every team because every team has to pay players and da-da-da-da-da, and they got to bring them in and you make trades and da. What I mean is that I feel like in the past, like, so last time, not this past time when we were sorry, because we've been kind of sorry since like 2012. The time before that, when we were sorry, you could probably look at the 05, 6, well, yeah, 05, 6, and 7 seasons. They're trash. But prior to that, it was like the late 90s is when they were at their roughest. You traded on draft day to get Kobe. You had made a trade with Orlando, or got Shaq through free agency. Somehow they got Shaq, but you had a Nick Van Exel, Eddie Jones. You had players like this. Y'all had to play the games and, work your way to get to, that year Kobe and Shaq start really putting it together, and then they go beat Indiana in the finals. I say that this one feels like it's a little bit bought because, like, you stocked up. Well, one, you were able to save a ton of money the 4 or 5 years prior to getting LeBron James because nobody wanted to come to LA. Kobe was aging out, and this was not a primary destination for a lot of great players because who want to play with old? No, it's not disrespect. This is for real because obviously Kobe's my guy. R.I.P. Big Dog. We love you. We miss you. But who want to play with on the way to retiring old ass Kobe, and then a bunch of kids who don't know how to play the game? You and Kobe was finna be mad. Y'all know that. That's probably why Kobe wasn't really recruiting all that heavy, at least not in the public eye the way people thought he would. Yo, come to LA. Da 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 da. Kobe already knew. Like, listen, you can come over here if you want to, but when I'm done, you're gonna be by yourself. So they're able to stock up a lot of money, right? You then get LeBron. Then when LeBron shows up, he basically looks at the sheet of paper and he points and says, you go out and get all these people. And then when you go out and buy all these people, then I'll bring you back a ring. And they got lucky. They got Anthony Davis. But it still feels weird because, like, people are talking about, oh, if LeBron win this, he's the greatest of all time. And da-da-da-da. And I'd be like, bro, 4 rings and 10 trips. I mean, listen, and we'll talk about this tomorrow on the Starters on the Bench podcast live on Twitch every Saturday. LeBron obviously is an all-time great, but we got to stop pretending like if he win this year, that just means he's outright better than everybody. That can't be a thing considering this is 10 trips to the finals and it will be 4 rings. 4, not even 5. It's 4. That's kind of a thing for me. I have to be like, listen, y'all got to quit. But back to my point about it feeling like it's being bought. We went out, we got all these players. You pay for all these people to come here. Everybody gets paid, obviously, because it's a job. But you set this up to where, like, when you win it, that will be super dope for all LA fans. But we got to stop pretending like they went through this super hard road. Like, LeBron didn't come here and play for 5 seasons, 5 grueling seasons. It wasn't none of that. I understand. You can't do that at his age. He'd been in the league for too long to waste time playing with guys for years and years to then win the championship. But, like, I mean, y'all better win. You have 2 99s playing on the team. Come on, man. Like I said, I'm a Lakers fan. I want tonight to happen in those Mamba jerseys too. I love that. But y'all have 2 99s on the team. You have a guy on the squad who's a former defensive player of the year like 3 or 4 times over, who also been to a finals, who also has competed for the chance to win MVP awards in this league. Dwight, maybe not still that player, but he on the team. JaVale got 2 rings. He got championship caliber. Like, let's be for real. Y'all playing against some people who really low-key not even supposed to be where y'all are at. Maybe not until next season. They got to get those reps in. Shout out to the Miami Heat. And they came out and they won, was it game 3 or something like that? But listen, the Lakers should have swept them. You got too many people on that team taking plays off. Y'all got Rondo on the team too. Y'all can like Rondo ain't got rings. Lord, Lakers better win tonight, man. That's all I'm saying. I don't know. It's going to feel good for the team to come back to greatness. But my concern is that, say in like obviously, hopefully AD resigns. But if he doesn't, what happens to the team when LeBron retires? It will be clear that if any of those things happen, well, the team is going to go back to the basement because all these other teams are getting better and they're actually on the come up through due process, such as draft and, free agency, but not dumping all your cash into one or two players and emptying out all your draft picks. But you got to think the Lakers gave up a lot to get these players. You have to hope that nothing bad ever happens, or else this team is literally going to go from first to probably worse. So fingers crossed that this is a sign of things to come, and maybe next year and the year after and the year after that is also championship run. Because if it's only this year and then something crazy happened next year and then they never go back, that means that the Lakers basically forgot about long-term future and only fought to get LeBron the ring now. Because you got to think, based on his whole catalog and everything that he's done, he can literally walk away after tonight and it's okay. But everybody else, listen, I don't want to have to deal with players of this type of caliber. You remember when we had Lonzo Ball? Think about a player like Ramon Sessions. I don't want to have to go back to a Ramon Sessions type of player. I don't want to have to go back to if LeBron leave or something or something crazy happen, we only have one star. You're going to go back to having to watch a guy get 60 every night just for the team to try to win 35 or 36 regular season games. Don't nobody want to deal with that. I hope the Lakers win tonight, but I definitely have some concerns. Anyway, so I'm on Hulu and I'm watching this show called Woke. Shout out to Lamar Morris. You might know him from shows like New Girl. And bro, what was he on? I feel like he was on some stuff on BT back in the day. Or I could be wrong. I feel like I know him from something other than New Girl because I knew about him prior to that. And now whatever that was has escaped my very small brain. But anyway, shout out to Lamar Morris. If you have not seen the show Woke, this is a show about a young black man who lives in San Francisco. He is a cartoon artist, but obviously if you know anything about San Francisco, you know that San Francisco is, I don't know. I feel like I've heard that it's progressive. The only thing I know about, there's not a ton of black people. And especially based on the premise of the show, there are not a ton of black cartoonists, I'm assuming. He's involved in a situation where he's putting up flyers for this new thing that he's a part of with his cartooning. And I'm explaining it horribly, but I'm trying to give you some of it, but not give it away if you haven't seen it. He's involved in an incident where he's tackled by police. It's weird though how the show portrays it because he gets tackled. And obviously it's a 21-minute show. So they're not going to show what is more likely to happen in a real life scenario like this. But he gets tackled or the headphones get smacked off his head. He sees the guns pointed at him. It's all these cops. And then the cop tackles him. Shortly thereafter, his white roommate comes up, starts calling the cops names and trying to punk him. And then you just hear one of the cops go, "It's not him." And then they all walk away. And then he gets up. So this whole thing leaves him shook. And then he starts to hear these voices. And so before he gets tackled by the police, him as a cartoonist, I guess he wasn't living in the same type of world that a lot of his other black friends and people that he knew were living in because he wasn't as woke. He hadn't been involved in any type of police brutality or anything like that. And then after this situation, it starts to change his perspective and everything starts to become very different. I'm watching an episode where he was driving Uber or Lyft, rideshare programs, whatever. And some older white lady gets in the car and basically pays him to come to a party to just be black. And so the other day, or maybe last week, I think I talked about how white people are very curious about black people, especially when some of these folks have not come up around a lot of black people. They really view us as exotic creatures. And it's interesting that on the show, he goes to this party And this lady walks up, hey, what's going on? Da, 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 da. So let me show you around. Da, 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 da. It takes him up to these two white ladies. And then it's not a lot of scenes, but these two white ladies basically spend the rest of the time trying to follow him around to be close to him because and it's not just they find him interesting. Though they're like touching on him and petting on him. It's like he's, some caged animal. And so it got me thinking, if you're trying to crack into any type of like entertainment or like the art world, a lot of these realms that from a financial aspect are dominated by white people, are you expected to just dance and be their boy? Because basically he throws away his opportunity to have his cartoon published and syndicated, because after his situation with the cops, he realizes like, yo, I'm not going to just be up here, doing my little dance and shit like that. And then he kind of goes crazy, and then they cut him. Just like that, they cut him. And like I said, it made me start to think, like, if you're really trying to crack into this business, are you expected to just sing and dance? And I wonder, like, you look at some of these people who have really long lasting careers, Denzel and Morgan Freeman, some of these people, they don't seem like the type of people who are just dancing. But at the same time, is that how they've made? Obviously they're talented, they're successful, but like, did they have to dance in order to maintain that success in those long runs? Because there's a lot of great, successful Black actors, athletes, artists, anything. And in these jobs that, pay a lot of money and are seen by a lot of people, help, companies gain exposure and help them build their brand, are they expecting you to sing and dance if you want to make the money working for them? It's very interesting. I think if you haven't seen this show, you should watch this show. I don't know how many of my Black friends have seen it. I don't know, because I haven't really seen a lot of people talking about it, and mainly because that's just, like I said, people go crazy for stuff and then they post it all on the internet. I didn't see people doing that with this. So I wonder if people slept on this show, but I've already watched it one time through. I definitely recommend. It is a great show, but definitely something to think about. Are we expected as Black entertainers of any kind? Are we expected to sing and dance still in 2020 if we want our meals? It's interesting. Like I said, some people be getting offended by that. It's crazy though. Like last week when we talked about the curiosity or disrespect when it came to the touching of the hair, a lot of white people called me racist, and I thought that was interesting. But then, like I said it last week on the show, you see it even played out on TV. Here's another example of it, a show of where the second he gets in the space with these people that he don't know, their first thought is that they want to reach out and start touching on him. It's both. It's their curiosity, but it's also them being disrespectful. They don't get it. They really don't get it. And some of it is with some people, and especially I think in this situation, he's dealing with these people who come from wealth and high class and da-da-da-da-da. These are the same people who think they can just have whatever they want. So they feel like it's okay if they're in your space. Because you know why? Because they got Bentleys out front. Shorty's houses, so, hosting a party. They paid for the catering. They did all this stuff. They invited. I think she paid him on the show. She says like she pays him like $400 to come draw the essence of the party. What does that mean? No one even knows. AKA, I'm paying you to come to this party to be Black because we need to diversify. We need some color up in here. That shit is crazy. So now I'm wondering, and it's probably not likely because I'm not somebody that gets invited places, but I do wonder, with the invites that I have had, have I only been invited because I was Black? Or was it just because I'm hilarious? I don't know. I'm going with number 2, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's number 1. Anyway, what else we talking about? Okay, before I go, because I think the time is running out. Not really running out, but I'm about tired of this. I don't mean the show, but I mean the vibe now is that we do 15, 20 minutes and then we out, man. I got stuff that I got to do. I want to give a big shout out to my guys, though. My guy Noah, my boy Jason. I know there are other people involved. I've talked about them many times on the show because they have a magazine called Green Tea Magazine. You haven't checked that out. And it, fellas, I'm sorry. It stands for something, but my brain, I'm telling you, it's not. And plus it's shot up here. But they run a magazine, and now my guys have a podcast, the Sound Table Show. Y'all need to go follow them, go follow the show page, and be ready because they're about to drop. I don't want to give away any details or anything, but I have it on good authority. They have some very interesting episodes and special guests that they've had because they have a show where they do some paneling. They talk with celebrities about all types of topics. So I think they might have Richard T. Jones on there, Hill Harper, and that's just to name a couple. There's going to be other people on the show. Maybe one day I'll be blessed enough to be on the show. And like I said, they have celebrities. That's me now. Y'all know I'm locked out of my Facebook because they say I'm impersonating a celebrity. That means they think I am a celebrity. So I'm just going to claim it. That's what they tell you. Put things on the universe, just claim that shit. Now that I've become a celebrity and I'm famous, it's different now. Everything's different for me now. You see my hair different, headband cocked to the side, got the sweaters tied up. Everything is different now once you get famous. So shout out to my man Noah. Shout out to my boy Jason Hicks, of course. Y'all might know him as the person that I be busting up who's a Hall of Fame basketball player. That's accurate information. Both things. The Sound Table Show is coming soon. Do they have a drop date? Let's check this out, man. We got to see what they got. It doesn't say a specific date, but listen, man, y'all go follow them. The Sound Table Show. Look at some of these pictures. Y'all could do better with some of these pictures, though. Noah, come on, man. Now I'm just playing, man. My guy, he got the flannel on in this pic. I see you, my man Noah, man. Big shout out, a big supporter. He's a fan of my show. I'm a fan of his. I'm a fan of Jason. I'm a fan of their whole crew. So shout out to everybody. If I missed anybody's names, it's probably because I have yet to be introduced to y'all. Once we start getting acquainted, it's going to be nothing but love. But anyway, that is the end of the Meanquil Jackson show. Stay tuned for more. We might be back maybe tomorrow. I don't know. I'm about to just start doing these. Just so quick. There's no reason not to start doing them every day or every couple of days, man. I don't know. It's season 3. It's lit. Oh, and by the way, I smell good, just in case you were wondering. Even though I'm dusty, I still smell great. Like I said, once you become famous, everything is different. My deodorant is even different now. I'm lit.